Hey guys, so I'm going to be going through with you some of my most painful areas that I've been tattooed. Now, I don't have a complete bodysuit by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm relatively heavily tattooed, so I'm just going to go through with you so far what I found to be the absolute worst places. I'm definitely going to save the most painful for last, but I'm going to start out with, my kneecap. My knee, do you know what? The actual tattoo isn't that bad, it's the aftercare. So I've got this rose tattooed on my kneecap, and it's actually one of my most recent tattoos, but getting it done, I was really surprised because it wasn't even that bad. Like, a lot of people have told me the knee's really, really bad. So I went into it expecting to be like wanting to tap out after like 20 minutes, but it really isn't that bad. For me, it was the swelling. Like, my knee was absolutely huge. Like, it was almost like it almost looked like a drawing, like something. It didn't even look real. Like, it was so fat and it was so swollen and it was so sore the next day. And I'm a hairdresser, so I have to be on my feet all day, so I was walking around like looking like I had like a wooden leg or something, because I was like, I couldn't bend my knee properly, so I just looked absolutely ridiculous, and it really hurt in terms of healing. Like, I don't know why, I think it's the joints. So like, knees and elbows in terms of like healing are pretty nasty. Like, they just swell so much. Like, look at my elbow. Like, this is after I had ice on it as well, so I think that just shows you how much joints swell up, especially if you're going to go for like heavy black work. I think if you just have a bit of line work, obviously it's not as traumatic to the area, so it's going to be nowhere near as bad. But I found like heavy black work on the joints to be pretty nasty in terms of healing. So I've heard a lot of people say that their elbow was pretty nasty as well, but I think the worst bit about having your elbow done, and probably the same with your knee in all honesty, is the positioning. So when I got my elbow tattooed, I had to sit like this on the bed with my elbow like outstretched like this, and he was like, is that comfortable? And I was like, well, obviously no, it's not comfortable, but yeah, go for it. But obviously I didn't say that, I just said, yeah, that's fine. It wasn't fine. So you're sat like this, and I also trying to watch it, so I'm like watching like this, trying to look at what he's doing, and they like pull the skin, and then it sounds like they're like chipping away at your bone, and I don't think I'll ever forget that noise. Like, this one wasn't as bad because it's just like feel, it's not like solid, but this one, getting it done, was pretty nasty. And the annoying thing about the elbow as well is it does fall out quite a bit, so as you can see here, all of this needs re-going over. Can't wait to do that. But it was the same with the knee, the positioning. So like, I was sat with my knee, as you can kind of see it here, my knee was like off the bed. So getting it done, I was like, my foot's going dead. Like, it's the most stupid things that you think of, because you before you go into it, you're like, oh my god, this is gonna hurt so bad. Like, you know, it's like a needle basically is just going into like my joint area, and it's gonna really, really hurt, and I've got heavy shading, blah blah blah. No, the thing that hurts is the fact that your foot's gone dead, because your foot's just hanging off the bed and it's got nothing to support it for like 2 hours. So I think the joints are definitely not the nicest places to get done. They're definitely not, from my experience, my worst place, but I would definitely put them up there as an area that is pretty damn sensitive. So there's definitely a common theme throughout my worst areas getting tattooed, and that is that it's the areas of me that are heavily saturated in black. Like, all the areas that I have that are more sort of like just line work, or even not that heavy shading, like my shoulders for example aren't overly heavy, they're just kind of like a little bit softer, especially this one. Absolutely fine. It's the areas that are solid that really hurt. Yeah, I'd say this is probably one of the worst areas for me as well. Like, the whole of my neck, like I've got a video on my my neck tattoo, like the process of it, and just like talking through it, getting it done on my channel already, so if you haven't checked it out, go and check that out. But the worst area of this for me was this tiny little section here. I actually got it done straight after I got my knee done, because I went in for a day session, and obviously the knee didn't take a day, but yeah, it was quite brutal, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you can see that I'm just sort of smiling through it, but you know when you're like, smile through the pain, but really it's because if you don't smile you're gonna cry. Like, it was horrible. It was just like, and the very center of it here, for some reason, like, the ink just wasn't sitting in it, so like she just kept going over it and over it and over it because it just wasn't going in. Like, this section is tiny, but just to fill that took like 40 minutes because it was just a nightmare. Like, I thought it would be like a quick 10 minutes, but it really wasn't. So I'd say frontal throat is definitely got to be up there. Again, I think if you were just getting line work and like a bit of shading, it probably wouldn't be as bad. Like, all of this for me really wasn't too bad. It's always the areas that are heavily saturated. Like, I definitely picked the worst taste in tattoos to like black out and just things that are solid, because I definitely think they're a lot more painful. But yeah, for some reason this area for me was just quite horrible. I mean, I've spoken to quite a few other people that have got quite heavily saturated tattoos and they've got them all over and stuff, and a lot of people are the same. They say that like the frontal throat and under here, like under your jaw, isn't very nice on the whole like neck area. But surprisingly the back doesn't hurt. Like, I stopped when my neck was being done, it started on the back, and I was like, this tattoo's gonna be a breeze. Like, I was so shocked because I thought, because I was going in for the whole thing to be done, and I got all the back filled to like here, and then I got all the line work of this bit done in my first session, and I finished it on the second, and then filled that just like a couple of months later when I realised what I wanted. But yeah, I thought the back was so easy, and I was like, oh, this tattoo is gonna be so much easier than what I was anticipating. But I was so wrong. Like, the back is fine, it's the front. So if you're gonna go for a neck tattoo, get the back done, because it doesn't hurt like at all. Like, honestly, like, I'm not even trying to be that guy that's like, oh, my tattoos didn't even hurt, because all tattoos hurt a bit, but compared to the rest of the neck, the back is fine. So if you're gonna get a neck tattoo, get the back done. So I'd say next on the painful area for me is this. As you can see, it was really swollen when I first got it done, and to be honest, the hand isn't that bad. Blacking out my hand, like here, wasn't that bad. Like, it was really swollen, but it didn't hurt as much as I was expecting. It was the fingers. So it's in between here. Your finger webbing is disgusting. That is the reason why this tattoo is in this video, and that is because the finger webbing feels so dirt. Like, the knuckles aren't even that bad. Like, your finger knuckles and your actual knuckles aren't that bad. It's the webbing that is gross. But I'd say one of the worst things about it is the fact that you've got to keep going over it. Like, mine's been done 3 times now and it's still not solid. I'm gonna get it blacked out by a different artist next time, because she started blacking out my leg, and she's actually done such a good job of it. Like, my leg blackout is so far already, it's not going to need another pass. Like, it's literally sat in there perfectly. I don't know if it's just the area or not, but it's so solid compared to my arm that I'm going to get her to re-black my fingers next time, and hopefully that will make a difference. But again, I've got my leg blackout like up to where I've got it so far in the video, so if you want to go and check that out, it's Blackout Tattoo Timelapse, I think the video is called, so go check that out on my channel as well. But yeah, I definitely say the finger webbing is one of the worst ones for me. Like, all you want to do is squeeze your hand together because it hurts so much, but you've just got to keep it spread and just endure it, I guess, really. I think the positioning as well is quite difficult, because you're kind of sat like quite awkwardly trying to get in all the little like creases of your hand. But as you can see, like up close, like quite a few areas of this still need to be gone over again, which is an absolute nightmare, because like I said, it's been done 3 times already, and it's probably going to need at least another pass. But I really like the overall look of it, so it's definitely worth it. But yeah, hand, not so bad. Fingers, not as bad as you'd think. Webbing, absolutely grotesque, would not recommend. The healing of this as well was pretty dirt. Like, I had to wear a glove at work, because again, I'm a hairdresser, so I had to wear like a glove which had to like peel off my hand and like sort out, and it was just awful. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, I haven't got this hand done yet, but I'm probably not going to do something as heavily saturated as that on this hand, because it's just not staying in, to be honest. And I just think, do I really want to keep doing it? And the answer is no, I actually don't. So I'm not going to have something blacked out on my other hand and my other fingers. So before I go into my worst tattoo that I've had to date, I just wanted to do a quick one on the palms, fingers situation. So most people I know that are quite heavily tattooed have said their palms are their worst, but I haven't got mine done yet, so I can't really comment. However, I do have the insides of my fingers done. Not that you can read it anymore, but it used to say sad gang. But that wasn't as bad as I was expecting. Like, I got that done after I had this done, so I think maybe it's compared to this didn't hurt as much, but equally it's line work, and I don't think the line work's as bad as like just solid blackout. But it came out so much that it really put me off getting my palms done, because I just sort of think, especially with my job and stuff, like my hands are constantly in water and things, I'm thinking it's probably not gonna last either. So it's really put me off having my palms done, but I will get them done at some point and I will video it. But it has really put me off, and that's why I haven't redone this either, because I think it's just gonna come out again. But I have heard that palms are a really, really, really horrible area, so I'll do a video on that when I actually can get that done. So for me, my worst tattoo of all time that I've ever sat through is this, the armpit. Now, I know a lot of people online, I don't know them, they're like people that I follow and stuff that are like, my armpit tattoo didn't even hurt, like I barely felt it, like like it felt like a feather tickling me, or like all this bullshit that you just sort of think, you're not impressing anyone, you've got such small dick energy right now, like of course it hurt, it's a tattoo, it's in your armpit, like think how sensitive your armpit is, like your armpits are really, really sensitive. Like my armpit was horrendous. Like I'm not sure if it's just because it was my first like horrible hit area that I got done. Like I hadn't had any blackout done by this point, and I hadn't really like had any of my other like bad tattoos yet, so I'm not sure if I'm remembering it so badly because it was like the first bad area that I did, or if it really truly was as horrendous as I can remember. I fell asleep that night, like the first night I got it, I fell asleep forward like that because it was the only way that I could get it like comfortable, like was where it was like, so like my pillow was here. Do you know what? Basically I fell asleep on my front the first night I had it done, and when I woke up in the morning I had to like peel the pillow off of it. And I'm not gonna lie, I did shed a tear. Like it was so painful. It was one of those, you know when your eyes just water, like it was awful. I've never had a swollen armpit before, and they didn't warn you, but I ended up phoning my tattoo artist because I panicked because when I was sweating there was like black sludge coming out of it, but it was just the it was apparently just your sweat, like your sweat glands just getting rid of the excess ink, which is absolutely grim, but that's something they don't prepare you for if you're going to black out like a big chunk of your armpit. So I'd say for me that one was horrendous. The healing was awful, like it just hurt from start to finish getting it done. The line work sucked, the blackout sucked 10 times more, and then the healing also sucked, and that's why I haven't got the other one done yet, even though I got that done 2 years ago. I'm definitely going to get it done, but it's not one that I'm looking forward to. Although I'm thinking maybe now I've had some other horrible areas, it might not be as bad as I'm remembering. But anybody that tells you any of these areas don't hurt at all is lying to you and just trying to look cool, but you're not cool because all tattoos hurt. So just as a recap, my worst tattoos are kneecap and elbow, because they're your joints, and it's just the swelling and the healing of those that put those in this video for me. Your throat, very center of your throat, again I think it's the blackout part that made it so bad, but that's definitely up there for that reason. My finger webbing, again, probably because it's blacked out, absolutely disgusting. And my worst tattoo is my armpit, for me, hands down. A couple of areas that I don't think are as bad as what some people make out would be inside of your fingers. For me, mine weren't that bad at all. Head, so I've got a spider web on the side of my head here, and I've got a scythe that goes round here. Absolutely fine, weren't that bad at all. And face tattoos, everyone says face tattoos hurt a lot, but I have this, kind of counts as a face tattoo. I've got 2 little dots there that don't count as anything because it's 2 dots, but that, not bad at all. Yeah, I'd say those areas that people kind of say to you are really bad aren't that bad, and the only bits that I've got coming onto my chest so far really weren't that bad either. And I know a lot of people that say like your breastbone, like the front of your chest is quite painful, but that's my next area to feel, between here so I will let you know if the rest of it is worse than what I've had done already. But thank you for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what your worst tattoos to date are, or if you agree with what you think I said or not. Let me know what you want to see next time. Appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.